introduce myself. My name is John Ross. I was brought up very close to this lighthouse, but I spent 9 years as a commissioner with the Northern Lighthouse Board, and today I'm accompanied by Dr. Barry Miller. Dr. Barry Miller was a well-respected and very able teacher at one time, and also did some scientific research, but I think for the last nearly 20 years his role has been as a retained lighthouse keeper for the Northern Lighthouse Board. So I think it would be interesting, Barry, again, just a brief word about your role as a retained lighthouse keeper, and of course this is one of the lighthouses that you keep an eye on.
That's right.
It would be interesting to get a bit of history about this particular light.
Okay, thank you, John. Well, what I do is I do first-line maintenance on the lighthouses in Ayrshire and Galloway. There's around 10 lighthouses around the coast here. This morning we're outside Corsewall, which is on the North Rins, just outside Loch Ryan. It's a really nice lighthouse, as you can see. Corsewall was, well, the foundation stone, interestingly, was laid on the day of the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. So whilst Wellington and Napoleon were engaged in mortal strife in Belgium, there's a wee party here. The Provost of Glasgow, the main mason, who was William Kennedy, Robert Stevenson. People from Stranraer were laying the foundation stone in June 1815. And shortly after that, we had this fabulous lighthouse.
Yes.
There's some dispute as to when it was actually finished. The Northern Lighthouse Board is of the opinion that it was finished on the 15th of September 1817. However, contemporary script written by Robert Stevenson and the local minister William Rose have the date September the 15th, 1816. So personally, I go with the description written by the people who were here at the time.
Well, whatever.
Yes.
You will recall, Barry, that we had a wonderful
That's
afternoon to celebrate
Yes.
the 200 years of this lighthouse, and you'll recall that we decided to bring the primary children from the schools that the children of the lighthouse keepers attended.
Yes.
And it was a very special special day, and a very good way to commemorate 200 years of this light.
Yes. Well, that was in 2017, so it may have been 201. I don't really know. But either way, we certainly marked the occasion.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're. This, of course, is now, as well as a lighthouse, it's a hotel.
That's right.
And it's quite, it's a really unique situation to be dining in this hotel.
Absolutely.
When the ferries go past in the evening. It really is. It's a very worthwhile thing to do.
Yes, the light was automated in 1994. It was one of the last, actually, in Scotland to be automated. And after that, the accommodation block was sold off. And it's been a very successful hotel, and I think people really enjoy coming here. Luckily, we were able to maintain the large Fresnel lens. So there's a first order 7-ton Fresnel lens in the top of that tower, which rotates 24/7, 365 days a year. Quite staggering.
And that's quite unique, isn't it? Because, not unique, but it's unusual that these lenses have been retained.
Most of the lenses have been removed and destroyed, but this lens has been kept. And I think we've more or less made a decision, because we have it, to continue to maintain it. It's obviously more difficult to maintain a large lens like that than have an LED system which just flashes off and on. However, it's a wonderful bit of equipment, and it's really lovely to see that it's still there.
Good. And of course, the situation of this particular lighthouse, it's important, of course, because it's the entrance to Loch Ryan, but also it'd be interesting to know the other lights that can be seen.
Well, not only that, it's one of the oldest. I don't know if I mentioned that. It's one of the oldest predating it is the light on the Mull of Kintyre.
Right.
And there's a light on Plada, which is a small island off the east coast of Arran. So those two lights predate it. It's a very important shipping lane, and shipping from Glasgow to Liverpool. There was an awful lot more shipping back in 1815 than there is currently. So there'll be dozens of ships passing here every day. And North Atlantic vessels coming in from the States also would have made use of this light. So it was really an extremely important light, as well as the local traffic. And after it, the Mull of Galloway was built, and then Cramag Head and Killintriggan. So the coast was extremely well lit.
And of course, it's interesting that the reason that the lights were built was to try and avoid what were numerous wrecks before modern equipment was available. And of course, it was the ship owners who demanded that the lights were built. They were very concerned about losing the cargo. I'm not sure
that's why they were built.
About the seamen, but
they weren't so concerned about the seamen. No, it was financial reasons that the lighthouses were built. Now, interesting, I live in Kirkham Parish, and I've looked at the old burial records, and prior to this lighthouse being built, every year there'd be 8, 10, 15 unidentified seamen washed up on the coast and buried in the local parish. After the light was built in 1815, that stopped. None after that. Every year before that, quite a number. Quite extraordinary, the losses there must have been.
But it really demonstrates that the ship owners, they still continue to contribute to the cost of the lights, and they still value having this form of navigational aid.
It's not just a contribution, they pay entirely. In actual fact, we're entirely out with UK and Scottish governments.
And of course, they have the say as to what lights and what navigational aids they wish to continue, and some have been discontinued because they were felt not necessarily in today's modern world.
Yeah, not so many in actual fact. So navigation really is the mariners make use of radio navigational aids as well as fixed visual navigational aids, and it's a combination of the two. And generally speaking, they make use of at least 2 radio navigational aids. And this tower is in actual fact very much involved in that. I don't know if you can see there are various aerials on that tower. So in addition to our fixed navigation aids, the Northern Lighthouse Board maintains and installs the AIS system, Automated Information on Shipping, and the differential GPS system is also operated by the Lighthouse Boards, as well as the new ELARAN system, which is being rolled out. And there are other radio navigation aids as well. There's RACON, which we also have, not on this tower, but on quite a number of towers.
So that demonstrates that the Northern Lighthouse Board has kept pace with technology, and that the shipping industry acknowledge that. Are happy to also pay for these aids.
Yes, absolutely. No, it's a combination of various aids, and that's why shipping is relatively safe around the UK coast.
And just by, I don't know how it happened, but I was educated at the school nearest to this lighthouse.
Right.
And of course, it was at that time, it was a very, very small numbers of people moved around. And we were always interested at the start of every year to see where the Lighthouse Board children came from.
That's right.
Places like Stornoway, Kirkwall, Edinburgh, and Stromness. And these kids arrived, and I'm sure they found it difficult to understand what we were saying.
I'm sure
and
that would be the case, yes. No, they moved around every 3 or 5 years, the families.
And of course, the lighthouse keepers and their families became part of the community.
Absolutely.
And were very useful in the farming community because these lighthouse keepers were technically very competent. So when the old tractor wasn't going, the lighthouse keeper was called in.
There would be somebody there with the knowledge.
Yep. We've been to a number of lights, But I think for both of us, this one has a
Absolutely.
particular
Yes,
attraction.
yes,
I
yes,
was
yes.
born and brought up looking at this light,
right.
and was at the school close to it.
Yes.
And you now own the school.
That's right, that's right. Yeah. The children of the builders attended Mahar School.
The children of...
The builder, William
the
Kennedy,
builder.
the master mason.
Goodness me.
His children came to Mahar
Well,
School.
we'd have to say they got a good education.
They must have done.
So there we are. There's one of the Stanish ships heading
Yes.
round and into Loch Ryan. Fortunately, it's a clear day today, so hopefully they don't need much aid to navigation. But there have been some nights when they must
Indeed.
have been very pleased
Indeed.
just to have the light that they can take just to give them confidence.
Yes, absolutely.